Oh my gosh, are you being for real? Have they did that again? Let's jump in. Let's jump in. Let's jump in. Guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. If you are new with us, if this is your first time rocking with us on the Impact Show, what I'd love for you to do is let us know in the chat by writing the word new, N-E-W, simple word, 3 letters, new. If you've been here before, BHB, same 3 letters, BHB, just to say been here before. Now, question of the show. Who inspired you into property? Who gave you the flavor? Who gave you the savor? Who was the person who made you say, you know what? Property is actually for me. All right. I'd like to know that in the comments. If you're watching this on a replay, let us know in the comments below. If you're with us live, let us know in the live chat all about that. This is episode 72. Let me give you a few quick rundowns, 3 different episodes that we've done recently, which may be of value to you if you're tuning in for the first time. Last week's episode, episode 71, we spoke about property quality versus property quantity. Powerful episode. Haven't seen that? Go watch that. Episode 71. Make sure when you jump off of this live show, you go and maybe watch that old show because it's not live anymore, but this is live, so you get a lot more value out of the live. You can engage, you can write your comments, you can write your chat in the chat, and we can do it like that. So episode 71 was a very powerful episode. Also, we had episode 68 a couple of episodes ago still now. However, in episode 68 we was talking about a simple secret for property investing, a simple secret for property investing, which again, if you're new to property investing or if you're an advanced property investor, but you're looking for a new way to do property investing, go watch that episode 68, a simple secret about property investing. Now, last episode, I'm going to give you guys as a slight little recap before I jump straight into today's episode, where we're going to be talking about a very, very amazing question, a very, very powerful question, a very, very important question, a question that I seem to see so many people ask in different ways. This is the funniest thing about today's episode. We're answering a question that nearly everybody who wants to go into the foray of property has, but not everybody knows how to ask properly. That's what we're talking about today. I hope you're ready for today's show. Today, we're going to be speaking about how many properties do you actually need? Let me say that one more time. How many properties do you actually need? Do you need 1 million? Do you need a trillion? Do you need a zillion? Do you need 100? Okay. How many do you actually need? Okay. And like I said, this is a question I find people always trying to ask, but not necessarily knowing how to ask. And this is why we're starting with the question of today's show, which is who inspired you into property? Because I'm going to use your answer to that, if I get some answers to that, to actually help you guys understand how important it is to understand what you're doing in property. Now, last recap episode 65, we spoke about the next generation for property investing success. I'll say that one more time. The next generation for property investing success. I feel a little bit high today. I feel a little bit high. Am I high? Let me scoot down a bit. Easy. There you go. Let me do it the proper way. If I can find it. We got some new setup today. Yes. We got some new setup today, but we are definitely in the house, and I can't find it right now. So I'll leave it, but we're still gonna enjoy it because
that was easy.
Yeah, I did find it. There you go. All right, now let's go deeper into today's show. It's episode 65 that I shouted out a moment ago, next generation for property investing success. Episode 68 I spoke about slightly earlier, and also episode 71, last episode, speaking about property quality versus property quantity. Go watch that episode after this episode if you have not seen that episode before. I'm telling you, that episode will hook you up. It will show you how to invest in property. Now, for all of you guys who are joining us for the first time, I'd like to say a great good day to you and welcome to the Impact Show. This is the show where you get creative property investing on demand. Now, one of the great things about this show is you have none other than myself, Samuel ICanWin, your tour guide through the landscape of creative property investing. And I'm going to do that with you guys today, and every other live show that I've been doing it with you guys previously, and every other live show that will come ahead. I just like taking people on that journey to creative property investing and showing them the way forward. So let's do this. Now, I ask you guys for one thing in this environment. I ask you guys for one thing. Please be true to the one thing. And that is, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to say hi. Be courteous in the chat. You know, I'm based in the UK. In England, we're slightly conservative compared to the American audience. So if you're tuning in, if you're rocking with us from the US of A, the other side of the pond, welcome to the show. But just to let you know, in the UK, we're a little bit more conservative. So make sure we bring our manners to YouTube and just say hi in the chat. Hi, I'm Samuel. Okay. Introduce yourself in the chat. in the chat, let people know who you are. Let people know why you're involved here. Let people know what got you here. Let people know why you've come over to the channel. Now, the other thing, which is the same thing as the first thing that I asked you to do, is if you get value, do the same thing. Hit the like button, press subscribe, be a part of what we're doing here, be a part of our community, be a part of this channel. Maybe hit that bell notification, smack that bell so you can get notified every single time we drop a video. Now, the reason I'm sharing that information with you is because it's the one thing we ask you to do on this channel, and that is engage. Just engage, okay? Because as you engage, you will get value, we will get value, we all get value, and we all go home happier. Because they say in the UK, the more the merrier. And I believe that. I believe that to the fullest. The more the merrier. So the more value we have on the show, the merrier we all end up being able to go. Now, oh my gosh, I got I got so much comments going on in the chat. Okay, so there was no audio earlier. I couldn't even see the comments. I was not looking at the chat, guys. I apologize. Thank you for letting me know. I think that's Mrs. ICanWin letting me know in the chat. Thank you, guys. As you can see, I was not paying attention to the chat earlier on, but now I can see the chat is telling me there was no audio. I got Mrs. ICanWin who says been here before. Maria's in the chat. Maria, let us know. Have you been here before? BHB means been here before. Mrs. ICanWin says my uncle and then you, Samuel. You need to elaborate, Mrs. ICanWin. You got to remember this is a live show. So we only know what you write in the comments. So please let us know in the comments exactly what you're talking about. And again, guys, if you haven't hit that like button, you know what to do. If you haven't hit subscribe, you know what to do. All right, we've got welcome back to Maria. Great to have you with us today. Mrs. ICanWin is saying hello. And we've got Maria who jumps into the chat and says hi. Hi, Maria. Great to have you on the show on this evening. Now, guys, if you haven't hit share, feel free to share as well. This is content that you can share with other people. There's other people who are going to know you're a smart property investor when you introduce them to this show. I'm going to say that one more time because some people don't get that. Some people have never realized that. Some people have never realized that as I pour my juice. Some people have never realized that. I'm going to share it again. When you share this show, thank you, Maria. She says, been here before. When you share this show with other people, what you don't realize that you're doing is you're showing them that you're an intelligent property investor. You're saying, listen, I'm on this show, I'm watching this show, I'm getting value from this show, have a watch of this show. And the funniest thing is if they jump on the show and they get value from the show, they say, hold on a minute, it was Maria, it was Mrs. ICanWin, it was Samuel, it was you who introduced me to that value. So you must be a smart property investor. Let me just sip a little bit of juice as I let you think about that. That's the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it works. Oh my gosh, here it goes. Mrs. ICanWin was actually just answering the question of the show. So again, Maria, and to everyone else who's watching right now, the question of the show is who inspired you into property? Let me know in the chat. Mrs. ICanWin is the first one to throw her answer in as usual. Actually, not always as usual. Sometimes we've got Ketty who's really, really quick. KTR is really, really quick on the chat. Also, my man Mendez, Callum Baloka, very, very quick on the chat. I get quite a few people actually quite quick on the chat. I should say, to be honest with you. But anyway, Mrs. ICanWin has already thrown her answer into the chat. This is going to be very valuable for us later on. Let me see Mrs. ICanWin's answer. She says, firstly, her uncle. Okay. I got also ICanWin in the chat as well, who says property. Thank you, also ICanWin, for being with us live on the show, live on the show, live on the show. So the question of today's show, episode 72, is who inspired you into property? Who inspired you into property? Who was the person that you saw, heard, whatever it was, engaged with, that made you feel like, you know what, I need to do this property thing. I want to be doing this property thing. Who made you say
Yes
to property? That's what I would love to know. All right. Who made you say
yes
to property? All right. Now, Mrs. ICanWin shoots us with the first answer. She says her uncle and then her husband, Samuel. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love to be a part of your journey. All right, who else, guys? Let me know. Let me know. If you're in the chat, let me know who inspired you into property. Who got you thinking this property thing can work? Not even just for you necessarily. Like, let's start from the basics. Who got you thinking property could actually work? Who got you thinking, property actually is an interesting industry? Who got you thinking that property could be for you? Even if you can't imagine who got you thinking property is for you, who got you thinking property could be for you? Let me know that in the chat. And again, if you're watching on a replay, let us know in the comments. If you're watching live, let us know in the live chat. Very important question because it makes the difference. You might not know how it makes the difference, but it actually makes the difference. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about in today's show as we discuss how many properties do you actually need. Okay. That's right. Now, with all of that being said, let's go 100 miles into tonight's show. And like I said, please, ladies and gentlemen, don't be shy with the bell. Don't be shy with the subscribe. Don't be shy with the like. Don't be shy with the comments. Engagement is the name of the game. That's how you learn at the highest level. Now, first and foremost, let me shout out every single person who's joining us live. If you've commented and I've shouted you out already, or if you haven't commented, just want to shout you out. It's always a pleasure to have people on the show. Secondarily, let me make you aware that we have a donation link in the description of the video. If you would like to donate to the channel so we can keep doing stuff like this, feel free to do that. The link is in the description. Side by side with that, those of you who donate, you are prioritized to ask questions. So if we have questions in the show, your questions will go first. All you've got to do is put a £sign before your question to indicate that you have donated. The team, the admin, usually will check if you've donated and then ping me and say, Samuel, they've donated. And then your question gets highlighted. Now, there are a few other things that have been changed in the show, but we are setting up the show to give you even more value, okay? Which is the reason why over the last previous sets of weeks, we've kind of reduced the amount of Q&A we're doing in the show because we want to give you maximum amounts of value. Now, let's jump straight into the value because I'm talking so much about value and it only makes sense to talk about value if you're going to give the value, so let's give the value. How many properties do you actually need, okay? How many do you actually need? Let me see in the chat, guys. What do you guys think? Okay. What do you guys think? What kind of comes to mind when you think about property? Like, how many properties do you need? Okay. Now, to make this simple, let's talk about retirement. Let's not talk about living, daily living, because a lot of people work jobs. Okay. And because they work jobs, their predominant income from their salary, hashtag my Instagram post. Again, guys, listen, if you're not following me on Instagram, you need to go over to the Insta and get more grams from your Insta. I'm telling you, all you need to do is follow Impact Properties London on Instagram and you will get value like never before. I'm telling you. I posted on my Insta the other day. This was part of what I posted just for you guys. Okay, I'm giving you guys extra value on YouTube. I'm bringing Instagram to YouTube. How about that? Okay, without YouTube Shorts. That was a bit of it indirect, but you know what it is. I posted this the other day. You can see it's coming off and I'm going to rub it off in a minute. The typical average weekly outgoings is £703.10p. Okay. We can do the maths right here if you want. If you want us to do the maths, just write in the chat, do the maths. But I posted this the other day. Okay. Favorite color hashtag. I posted this the other day. The typical average outgoings, £703.10. Posted this on Instagram with a little lesson for everybody who follows me on Instagram. And that lesson was, if you times that by four, roughly, you then end up with an amount which is roughly the monthly outgoings of a typical family. I'm not looking at the chat again. That's not good because you guys might be saying do the maths. So let me make sure the chat's up in case you guys want me to do the maths. Okay. All right. Wow. I love this. Whoo! Mrs. ICanWin's gone in there. She's gone in there. Guys, I love this. All right, you guys haven't asked me to do the math, so I won't do the math. But the typical outgoings, £703.10p. Okay? So usually in a household, people are spending roughly £2,800 every single month. Okay? Now think about it. It's funny. I was looking at something. Oh my gosh, Mrs. ICanWin says do the maths. Here we go. She loves it when I do the maths. Listen, guys, it's a pleasure to have someone who knows numbers, especially if they can teach numbers, because then you get the maths done for you a lot of the time. So let's do this. All right. Typically, we're saying in a week, the outgoings of a family, individual, you choose what you want to do. You choose what you are. £703.10. Okay. So roughly, if we times that by 4, we should get an idea of what we're talking about in order to get monthly outgoings. Okay. For this same individual or for a person. Okay. Now, if we get that, 7 times 4 is 28. We get this figure right here. £2,812.40. Okay. All right. Hope you guys are ready for this. Okay. So I'm basically breaking down for you guys live in more than 60 seconds, which is how long I did it in Instagram. A very powerful lesson. So hopefully you're paying attention to this. And Maria, you mentioned your son. Maria, your son should be paying attention to this, okay? Because I assume your son's in kind of the age bracket where this stuff makes even more of an impact, okay? But let's keep going because I want to give you guys this value. So if the current weekly outgoings of most people is £703.10, and you multiply that by 4 and find out that the average monthly outgoings of a family is £2,812 with 40 pence. And for those of you who are tuning in from the US, pence are just like cents, okay? But the only difference is in the UK, hopefully we've got some sense. Now, if this is the case, what you need to realize, which is very, very paramount, is the average annual salary, okay? The average annual salary, okay? And this is the reason why so many people have 3 jobs, 4 jobs. We no longer have Steve Jobs, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? It's roughly this. I'll put circa here just so you guys know I'm saying roughly. I don't want anyone to go on YouTube. Oh, Samuel, you said that annual average salary is 25K. It's roughly, it's around 25K. I had the accurate numbers when I did my Instagram post. Now, this is the reason why this is so interesting, okay? Because if the average monthly outgoings are at £2,800 and the average annual income is at £25,000, if you divide that £25,000 by 12 months, you will find out that there's not enough money before the end of the month, okay? You'd find out that 25K divided by 12 is less than £2,812 with 40 pence. Why is that important? It's important because it means you have to answer the question today's show's all about. It means you have to get to a place where you start to realize, hold on a minute, the maths doesn't add up. Hold on a minute. This is the reality. If, for example, the average person is actually generating 25K a year, roughly, circa 25K a year, but the average person is spending 28K a month, 2,800 a month, which obviously equates to around 30,000 a year. How does that work? How does that work? It doesn't work. It's a broken equation. So what I was teaching on Instagram is the lesson is this. We need to do one simple thing. And it's something that people don't like thinking about, but it's something we all have to do. Some people would say, you need to make more money. You don't need to make more money. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't need to make more money. That's the biggest problem that for most people. They think they need to make more money. No, some people need to spend more money on themselves. Okay, someone needs to write that down. Someone just got an epiphany when I said that. Someone just woke up. Someone heard what I just said and was like, wow, Samuel, you dropped the bomb. Like, that actually was the bomb. Yogesh is in the chat. Hi, Yogesh. Great to have you on the show. Guys, listen, some people don't realize I just dropped the bomb. Look, this is the one thing you need to do. You need to move away from being average. That's the problem. This is the average expenses. Okay? Average expenses, £703.10 a week. Multiply that by 4. Average expenses, £2,812.40 every month. Average expenses. Average income, 25K per year. This maths doesn't add up. If you look at the averages, most people are spending more than they make each year. Every year. Let me add that because I think that's going to really pepper the sauce. Some people are going to get it now. Some people are spending more. Most people, this says average, so it's most people. Most people are spending more than they make in a year, every year. Now, why is this so important? Let me tell you why this is so important. Because the lesson is not make more money. That's the biggest mistake most people make. Most people think, oh, you know what? If I make more money, I'll be okay. No, because if you don't stop yourself from being average, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Should I say that again? Someone told me if I should say that again. Just write the word repeat if I should say that again. This is a powerful lesson. This is why you need to follow me on Instagram, because this is the kind of lessons I break down on Instagram. And I'm actually learning. Guys, those of you who've been following me on YouTube for a while, you will know. I used to say this. I don't know how to use Instagram. Listen, I'm learning how to use Instagram. Mrs. ICanWin is teaching me, and she's a really good teacher. Apologies to all the schools that lost her. But look, she's a really good teacher. She's teaching me how to use Instagram, and I'm getting better, guys. I'm getting better. I'm actually at a stage now. You're not going to believe this. I'm actually at a stage where I can post myself. I'm getting better at using Instagram. Why? Because I'm moving away from average. I'm not going to be like the average person my age who only use Facebook and who says, oh, I don't use Instagram. It's for the young people. No, that's not me.
That's what she said.
Okay? That's not me.
That's what she said.
I'm the kind of person who, when I realize I don't actually have a skill, I actually start to improve my skill. This is the reason why I come on this show and share with you guys the same insights that I learn. Because if I don't share those insights, I don't deepen the learning for myself. So part of me actually having this show is selfish. And some people don't know that. But that's the truth. Okay? That's actually the truth. Thank you, Mrs. ICanWin, for the emojis. Now listen, guys. What I want you to understand is the key is to move away from average. Everybody knows I deal in keys. That's what I deal in. I don't deal in money. I deal in wisdom. When you read the Bible talks a lot about wisdom. I deal in keys. You know, famous quote from Jesus, I give you the keys. Behold, I give you the keys to the kingdom. It's about keys. If you give people enough keys, they can open all the doors. If you grab enough keys, you can open all the doors. The doors to your financial dismay, you can open that with the right keys. The doors to the problems in your relationships, you can open that if you've got the right keys. The door to the management of your time, you can open that door if you have the right keys, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the reason why we have this show, in order to equip you and give you some more keys. I think the sound effects are low. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Maybe we can turn them up.
Yes.
Now, let's keep going into tonight's show. Mrs. ICanWin, let us know if the sound effects are loud enough for you now. I know you like the sound effects. Everybody's been telling me, Samuel, you should get sound effects. My wife was telling me, you should get sound effects. We got some sound effects. Let me know, guys. It's the show's for you. Let me know if you enjoy the sound effects, if they make you laugh a little bit. All right. If they make you enjoy the show a little bit more. I don't know. Let me know. Why do you need sound effects? But again, that's me being old school. That's me being me. Oh, I only want to use Facebook. I only want to use Facebook. That's me being old school. Rather than me saying, no, listen, get with the program, Samuel. Pick up the value, Samuel. Become someone of so much influence because you give so much value, even in areas where you wouldn't necessarily want to get that value. Just give more value. Does everybody understand that? I can tell this is going to be one of those shows where there's a lot of value being shared. I hope you got your pen and paper ready, guys. Let me ask this. I want you guys to tell me in the chat. Everybody answer this question. Who comes to this show with a pen every single time? Who? Who's one of those people who do what I do? Who comes to this show with a highlighter? Ready to take it all away. Ready to highlight it all today. Who does that? Let me know in the chat if you're one of those people who rock with me with a pen. If I know Samuel ICanWin's there, I know I need my pen. Who's that person? Who comes with the board marker? Who's ready to write on the board when they know Samuel ICanWin's going to drop some value? Now listen, let's jump in a little bit further. So we're talking about how many properties do you need? I asked the question, how many properties do you think you need? And we said we're going to specifically focus on retirement. And the reason we're going to focus on retirement is because it's an easy thing to just look at and to say, okay, look, we're measuring it based on this, we're measuring it based on that. Yogesh is in the chat. Yogesh, let me know how many properties do you think you need in order to retire. Maria, you're in the chat. She says, Maria's given us an answer, but Maria, I want a numerical answer as well, okay? Because I want us to have some numbers. I just want to, again, it's not about being right, it's not about being wrong. It's about learning. That's what we're all here for. I'm here to learn as well, okay? I may be the captain, but I'm still here to learn, all right? Any good captain, any good leader, any good teacher is still learning, still developing. So I love learning with you guys. It's easy to learn with people, but it's better to learn with people you like. I like learning with you guys, so let's learn together. Maria says, depends on what passive income you want to achieve. That's correct. But check this out. I love that. Maria, thank you for that comment, because you've just opened up a whole room where we need the keys. Check this out. I'm going to say this to you guys because I want you to catch this. This is very powerful. I want you to catch this. Does the government check how much income you need when they decide what they're going to give you as your pension, as your government state pension? Let me ask you that. Now, look, I'm not advocating the government state pension. If you ask me what my thoughts are on the government state pension, I would say boo. I'm just going to be totally honest. I'm not feeling any government state pension. That's me. Okay, that's me. That's me just giving you my reality. But even though I'm not feeling any government state pension, just to be very transparent with you, I'm going to just touch on what Maria said. Does the government consider, oh, well, Maria lives in Battersea and she has 3 dogs, she has a son, she has a husband, she has all of these things going on for her life. She's got a David Lloyd membership. You know what? For Maria's pension, we're going to give her as a state pension. I'm thinking about the number, then I realize what the number should be. For Maria's government state pension, we're going to give her, you guys should know the number. You should know what's going to happen right now. We're going to give her £2,812.40 every month. Because that's the average expenses. She's nice. We're going to meet the average expenses. The government do not do that. I got Mrs. ICanWin in the chat. She's just got it straight away. She said, no way. The government don't even think about you when they start to disseminate their numbers. I just want you to bear that in mind, okay? The government do not say, well, the average expenses inside of a week are £703.10. So therefore, what we're going to do for the people we like is actually give them £2,812.40 every single month. They don't do that. They equally don't say, well, look, we don't like a whole bunch of people. And because we don't like a whole bunch of people because they spent their whole life taking job seekers allowance or whatever it's called now, universal credit, that's it. Because we've got these people that just keep taking universal credit, what we're going to do, we're going to give the people we don't like 25k a year for their retirement, for their government state pension. And we're going to give the people we do like, the Marias of the world, the Mrs. ICanWins of the world, we're going to give you ladies, we're going to give you £2,812.40 a month, which allows you to meet the average expenses in the country. Do you think the government do that? Maria chimes in. She says, no, they decide what the average person needs. Let me tell you something. They even do worse than that, Maria, which is the sad thing, but the true thing. They even do worse than that. What do you mean, Samuel? The government do worse than that? Yes, they do. They even do worse than that. And the reason I'm saying they even do worse than that is because I want you guys to understand exactly where I'm coming from, why it's so important to know how many properties you actually need. Okay? The reason I say, and what I mean by saying they even do worse than that is one simple thing. Check this out. I'm going to go into it. The government can go on websites and get statistics and find the average income. They can go on websites and get statistics and find data. They even commission white papers to be written. They even commission statisticians like myself. When I used to work in industry, they would commission people like me who have degrees, numerous copious degrees in statistics, to go and do the number crunching, assess the data, and come back with the information around how much do people spend on average a week? How much do people spend on average a month? How much do people spend on average in a year? How much do people need to spend? They do the maths. They can do the maths. They've got no problem with doing the maths. But how comes every single budget, every single time we're told there's an increase or decrease in pensioners' income, the pensioner still can only live on a diet of Ryvita and cheese? Tell me that, please. Is that because no human beings need meat? Apologies to my vegan audience. Listen, this ain't about whether you're a meat eater or not. You should have enough money to eat meat if you like. That's my opinion. All right? That's my opinion. You should have enough money to choose what you want, guys. Why should you not? Why should you be stopped from being able to have a choice as to what you'd like to eat? I don't get that. I really don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand why that opportunity, that decision should be, would be, could be stolen from you. I don't get why that opportunity, that decision could be, should be, would be taken from you. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And I don't think it should happen. As a human being, you should have the level of dignity to be able to take care of yourself, especially in your older age. You should be able to do that. Now, let me tell you something. if you're 16 and you're watching this, if you're 18 and you're watching this, if you're 21 and you're watching this, if you're 24 and you're watching this, if you've just turned 30 and you're watching this, so apologies to those of you who are my normal audience who are usually a bit older than that, obviously because I'm older than that. But listen, to those of you who are the younger generation, I want you to understand that if you're 16, if you're 20, if you're 21, if you're 30, if you're 18, if you're 24, if you listen, I need you people to understand. Just look at what the government's doing right now to everyone else, to all the old people. That again, I'm not saying that to be derogatory, but to elderly people, look at what they're doing with them and to them. And the moment you do that, do the maths. This is all I try to teach people to do. Do the maths for yourself. Work out now that they're not going to help you then. Because if you can work out now they're not going to help you, then you'd start to invest in property. And then you're going to tell me, oh, but Samuel, I don't have enough money to invest in property. And then I'm going to say to you, this is why you needed to subscribe to the show. This is why you needed to subscribe to the channel. Because if you're subscribed to the channel, then you're in the place where you're going to learn creative property investing on demand. And then you can sort yourself out. Then you can be okay. Now, if you're like me, if you're not 30, if you've passed that threshold, okay, 60 is the new 30 though, anyway. You guys know what I'm talking about. My real audience know what I'm talking about. 60 is the new 30, all right? So I'm still a young buck. I'm just telling you. But anyway, the reality is this. If you're one of my people who have passed the 30 threshold, all right, I just want to share something with you guys. We can still do this. Chantel's firing up in the chat. Chantel, you're one of those people, I believe, who are under 30. Okay, so I hope you heard what I just said. I hope you didn't just show up on the show and start throwing fire in. Hope you heard the comments that I just said and thought that was fire. That's why you're throwing fire. I hope, Chantel. Just let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. And be sure to say hi because, you know, there's other people in the chat who want to say hi to you too. But the point I'm making is for my family who are 30 plus, what I want us guys to understand is something very simple. We already know. Okay, the younger generation might not know. They might have to do the maths. We already know. We've lived enough. We've worked enough. We've seen enough. We already know. Okay, Chantel says, I heard. I love it. Thank you, Chantel. Always a pleasure to drop some value bombs. You see, what you've got to understand is for the 30 plus crowd, we already know. We already know the NHS and the direction it's going in. We already know. We already know. We already know. You know why we already know? Because we've seen it. We've seen it in the news. We've seen it decades ago. We saw it in the late 80s. We saw it in the mid and early 90s. Guys, we already know. We already know. Guys, if you're 30 or older, let me know. I know, obviously, you don't want to reveal your age, but let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about when I say we already know. Because there's no point not working out. How many properties do I actually need? There's no point realizing you need to change the trajectory of your life. There's no point in not realizing this thing when as they say proverbially, the writing is on the wall, when it's already been told to you, when you've already seen. You listen, let me say this to you guys, please. This is something someone needs to write down. I think we should all write this down. Get your pen and paper, write this down for me. When you got your pen and paper, let me see the word ready in the chat, okay? I need to see a few readies. When I see ready, I know people are ready, and then I'm going to tell you something, all right? I'm going to tell you something very important. I might even have to get the close-up camera and get close with you guys just to let you know. Listen, let me see some readies in the chat if you guys are ready for this, because I'd love to tell you something, but I need you to be ready, okay? Pen, paper, go get your pen, get your paper. If you're watching this on desktop, if you're watching this on your TV, yes, people watch YouTube on the TV. I watch most YouTube on the TV. If you're watching this on the TV, get your phone, get your notepad out in your phone. If you're watching this, on your tablet, go, guys. Let me share this with you, please. Let me share this with you. Let me see ready in the chat. I need 5 readies. I'm setting a high benchmark right now. I need 5 readies in the chat. I've got 1. Thank you, Chantel. Quick to the party. Let's see how this is going to go. I need 5 readies in the chat, guys, so I can tell you something. I can give you some advice. I don't usually give advice. I usually give insights. I usually give keys. But today, I'm going to give you some advice. Let me know if I can give you some advice. I got 1 ready in the chat. I got Maria who says ready in the chat. That's 2 readies in the chat. I need 3 more readies in the chat. If you haven't hit that like button, this is time to do some self-promotion. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. If you haven't hit subscribe, hit that subscribe. Oh my gosh, Chantel came to save the day, but I still need 5 genuine separate readies. Mrs. ICanWin gives me the 3rd ready. I got 3 readies. I need 2 more. Okay. Mrs. ICanWin says, welcome, Chantel. Chantel just fired up the readies right there. I love that. All right, guys. How many have we got? 3. I need 2 more readies in the chat. All right. And listen, if we don't have enough readies in the chat, you better start hitting share right now so someone can jump onto the show just to get what I'm about to share. Guys, let me tell you something. I need 2 more readies in the chat. You see, what I'm about to share with you guys is going to change your situation from believing in.
Good luck with that.
Because that's the problem for so many people. So many people want to get through their running on.
Good luck with that.
Let me tell you something. Good luck is not the answer to your situation. All right. Mrs. ICanWin says, ready, ready, ready. She's ready as well, just like Chantel. But let me tell you something. I need 2 other people to write the word ready in the chat. Okay, if I get 2 more readies in the chat, I will tell you guys. But that ready means I've got my pen, I've got my paper, and I'm ready to write down what you're about to share with me, Samuel. But let me tell you something. What I'm going to share with you guys, if we get the 2 more readies, is going to help you understand that you should not be living with a mentality that is a
good luck with that
type of mentality. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm putting my ready in for Mr. C4. Is Mr. C4 tuned in today? That's my question. Is Mr. C4 tuned in today? Okay. And Mrs. ICanWin, if he is, how do you know? Okay. Because I do know that Mr. C4 tells me every single week that that YouTube block his comments and do not allow his comments to come through. Is Mr. C4 tuned in today? Let me know. Let me know. If Mr. C4 is tuned in, I will accept that as the 4th ready. But we still need 1 more ready anyway. All right. Let me get that ready in the chat, guys, so I can give you the bomb, the value bomb. Okay. And I need you guys to have pen and paper at hand. Oh my gosh, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. All right, let me say this. If Mr. C4 is tuned in, WhatsApp me you're ready. That's okay. This is getting crazy now. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that nice. If Mr. C4 is tuned in and is tuned into tonight's show, I would like Mr. C4 to WhatsApp me the word ready, okay? And if he's not tuned in, that's okay. There's 2 other people who can actually say ready. So I would like to see ready, ready, okay? I need my readies, guys. I need my readies so I can give you this little value bomb, all right? And ready means I've got my pen and paper and I'm ready to take the notes of what you're going to say, Samuel, as well, okay? Awesome, 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 awesome. All right, now, like I said, if you haven't hit share, hit that share button. Share this stuff with somebody. Let someone know that we're just dropping value here. We're having fun on the show. And we want to get you guys ready. We want to get you guys jet set, okay, to move out of average, okay? So let me know, guys. Hit that share button. Let some people know, hey, listen, Samuel's about to drop some bombs. And you can be a part of the bombs if you just write the word ready in the chat. I just need to see 2 more readies in the chat. We're not taking Mr. C4's right now, because I haven't got his ready on WhatsApp, and I know he can WhatsApp me or the team. So I'm not gonna accept that ready. Mrs. ICanWin, thank you for being so resourceful. Let me just throw that out, because people don't understand. People think life's about resources. Oh, I don't have enough money. Listen, I got Osa Kimon in the chat, comes and rescues everybody with the 4th ready. I need 1 more ready, okay? 1 more ready from someone who hasn't given me the ready already. And then we're going to jump into something very, very powerful. I'm just going to share with you some advice. Like I said, I don't usually give advice, but I will give advice in this capacity today. All right. Now, what I want you guys to understand is if we need 5 readies, okay, and I ask for 5 readies, there are multiple ways you can get me my 5 readies without you just writing ready 5 times in the chat. Now, I love it when people do that. Thank you, Chantel. I love it when people do that. Thank you, Mrs. ICanWin. I love it when people do that. I think KTR actually started that off on this channel. That whole, I need 10, I need 10 deep in the chat. And she would just write deep 10 times. Listen, this is what I want you guys to understand. Mrs. ICanWin is calling out Yogesh. Yogesh, where are you at? You ain't put your ready in the chat. Maybe Yogesh don't want to know. It's okay. All right. Listen, I need 1 more ready in the chat to give you guys this key core information. But this is the fact anyway. Like I said, resourcefulness. This is why I like what Mrs. ICanWin did. Oh my gosh, Chantel's crying out here saying ready. I think Ecosmios started it. Okay, maybe Ecosmios did start it. That whole multiple word, give me the value stuff. Guys, listen, I love it. All right. Chantel, I've seen you ready before. I need a new person to say ready in the chat. Like I said, guys, there are multiple ways you can get your 5 readies. One of those ways is putting your own ready in the chat, which you've probably already done if you're trying to get these readies. Another way, Mrs. ICanWin's pulling out all the stops. She's calling out other people who's on the show. Hey, Yogesh, where you at? Where's your ready? Okay? Besides calling out other people, what's she also doing? She did something else. She's putting in readies for other people. This is my ready for Mr. C4. I'm sure he's watching, but I know he's always getting his comments blocked. Guys, let me tell you something. This is the way it works. You see, you guys may not understand, okay? But I want to break this down. I have studied teaching to a master's level, if you want to think about credentials, okay? So I'm a master teacher, all right? When I ask for these things, I'm not asking for these things because I just like making you move your fingers on your phone, on your iPad, on your tablet, on your whatever it is, on your TV remote control. No. Guys, I'm trying to help you learn something. And this is how you can tell when people have these lessons. You see, Mrs. ICanWin understands what I'm doing. She might not understand what I'm doing, but she's got the lesson. Let me basically put it that way. She's not thinking about resources. Oh, I can write ready. Okay, that's one level. Where's your resourcefulness? Because your resourcefulness is what breaks down barriers. I've posted to my WhatsApp saying put ready in the chat. Love that. Love that. Because it's about resourcefulness, guys. And this is what people forget so much. People don't realize, listen, I can be resourceful even if I don't have resources, and it can change everything. This is why when we ask the question, how many properties do you need? We're going to actually go into this, but you guys have already started dropping it. And look, for Chantel and everyone else who was late to join the show today, the question of today's show is who got you inspired into property? Okay, so let us know the answer to that as well, because we're coming on to that in a minute. Who was it that inspired you into property? Who was it that inspired you to believe property could work for you? Property could be the industry you could make some money in. Property could be the industry that allows you to retire properly, not like the government on Rivita and cheese. Oh my gosh, this is so powerful. Chantel, what did you just do? Have you got 2 channels? What? You guys get it. You guys get it. I have to give it to you. Oh my gosh, I have to give. Chantel, you got to tell us this before I go forward. Do you have 2 YouTube channels and that's how you just did that? Or did you just change your YouTube channel picture? Let me know, please. I'm very intrigued right now. That was powerful. Oh, look at that. You got Mrs. ICanWin laughing in the chat. Come on. Guys, this is why I like this show, you know. We just got to have some fun sometimes. We got to have some fun as we talk about. Look at that. Mrs. ICanWin says, good idea, Chantel. See, Chantel is getting or has got the lesson. Resourcefulness. What else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Let me tell you something. Sometimes you've just got to ask yourself, what else? You see, the problem is so many people ask themselves, what? Oh, Mrs. ICanWin is trying to do this thing as well now. She's come with our family channel and she's writing ready. Oh my gosh, Mrs. ICanWin, why are you doing this? You know what? She's doing this because that's what a smart, resourceful person does. They utilize their resources. They utilize their resourcefulness. They see other people's resourcefulness and start tapping into the same resourcefulness as other people as well. Well done. Chantel says, I've sent this out on WhatsApp. I know you've sent it out on WhatsApp because I can see how resourceful you are, Chantel. But what I want to know, Chantel, is that your second YouTube channel or did you just change the picture? I'm very interested. So guys, I got to give it to you. I said I'm going to give it to you because of how Chantel dropped that bomb. She was so resourceful right there. Thank you, Chantel, for being so sharp. Not yes. What does yes mean? Elaborate, please. Elaborate. Let us know the full picture. All right, now listen. This is what I was going to drop for you guys, and I want you guys to write this down because I want you to understand this is Samuel ICanWin giving you advice. I am giving you advice. On this show, we do not give advice, okay? We have a disclaimer in the description. We do not give advice. Chantel says she's got multiple channels. Awesome. Okay, what a wise young girl to utilize her resourcefulness. Chantel, keep doing that in life. That's going to make you break through every barrier that thinks it's going to stand in your way. Well done. All right, I've got the Aaron 2026 who jumps in with a ready. So I've genuinely actually got more than my 5 readies. I love you guys. Now, let me give you the value. Have you got your pens to ready? Have you got your pens to hand? Have you got your papers, your notepad, your iPad, your tablets? Are you ready to write this down? Listen, here's a simple secret that I'm going to give you. it's my advice, okay? Do not be complicit, okay? I'm going to say that one more time. Do not be complicit. When we say complicit, it kind of means do not be in partnership. Do not be complicit, okay, with the government whilst they steal your retirement from you, okay? And for people like Chantel who are younger than 30, for anyone else who's tuned in who's younger than the age of 30, please, please, please understand what I'm talking about. Do not be complicit with organizations like the government, like the UK government, I'll say, just to be specific, like the UK government, who are going to not care about you, as we spoke about earlier on in the show, in regards to your retirement, who are not going to say to themselves, well, hold on a minute, the average expenses of an individual in a week are £703.10, proven statistically. The average, as a result, monthly expenditure of a family or individual, okay, is £703 times £703.10 times 4, which we calculated to be roughly, okay, £2,812.40. The government are going to know that information and still give you in your state pension £156 a week, something like that. Am I right or wrong? Someone Google that, please. What's the pension? What are they giving right now as pension? I'll do it. Should we do it together, guys? I know you guys love doing stuff with me on the screen together. Should we do it together? Just write the word together if we should do it together. Okay? I want to know this. I want to know how much the government are giving out weekly to people who have served, slaved, given their life, given their energy, given everything that they've got to the country, to the workforce, okay, to society. What's the government giving out right now? You see, the thing that hurts me so much is when I see people do their jobs with vim. I see people work their jobs with vim. I see people who put their back into it. You can do it, put your back into it. I see people putting energy into their work, okay? Slaving in order to succeed, okay? And then the government says to them, okay, you're going to retire right now and we're going to give you crumbs. And look, let me tell you why this is so sad. It's so sad because it's like the people are surprised when it happens. Like, why would you be surprised when you retire on less than minimum wage? When your whole life you've been working, maybe for more money or whatever. Oh my gosh, Maria, you've just hurt it. You just hurt it. You put the number in. You hurt it. You hurt it. That's a low number. This is what I mean. Where was I? What did I say? £156? Maria's thrown the number in. Maria, where'd you get this number from? Let us just know. Where'd you get this number from? Let's throw this on the screen. Guys, I want you guys to understand how much this stuff hurts. Okay? I can't even buy the kind of watches I like with that money. Guys, I'm not even talking about, I don't even know what to say. Maria says it's £179.60 per week that the government pay to people who are pensionable age. Guys, I just shared with you that on my Instagram this week, I posted that the average expense is £703.10 per week, which equates to £2,812.40 per month. And I broke down on my Instagram in a short little reel story and post that the average UK salary is around 25k. So the average salary is less than the average expenditure in the country. Now, if that's what's average, are you telling me that someone who's worked all of their life, given their blood, sweat and tears to a job, to an industry, to a career, are now going to be in a position, Chantel says together, so we'll do it together, are now going to be in a position where they're actually going to say to themselves, hold on a minute, you guys are going to actually give me £179.60 a week to live my life. There's one word for that. Ridiculous. And that's why some people are living based on
Good luck with that.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. I don't understand how people get to that space in their life where they would work. Like, listen, let me tell you something. If you're 18 years old, you didn't finish school, or you finished school, you went straight into what should I say? You went straight into the workforce. Okay, I know of quite a few people. 16, they went straight into the workforce. Started working for NatWest, blah blah blah. Started working as a builder in the trade, blah blah blah. All right, cool. But you're not gonna tell me that okay, because you didn't finish school, you're not intelligent enough to take a little board, a little rubber, because you might need to rub it out if you do the maths wrong, and a little board marker, a little pen, and just do the maths and just work it out and just say to yourself, well, hold on a minute. Right now, my salary is, let's say, for example, normal person. My salary right now is 3K per month, okay? Let's just say it. Let's just say it. The person's salary is 3K per month. When I hit 75, okay, I'm not going to be able to create that 3K a month anymore because the knees, guys, and I'm not talking about Denise. I hope you guys are listening to me. The knees. Somebody got that. The knees. Oh my gosh, Chantel confirms it. Okay, £179.60p. She's even got the emojis to let you know that hurts. Heartbreaking. Come on, guys. I hope you guys are understanding how powerful this is. Let me tell you something. The knees, the KNEES, the knees, okay, that you have right now that allow you to walk to work, that allow you to drive your car, the knees may not be in the same place when you're 75 as they are right now whilst you are whatever age you are. And let's say right now you're 18 years old, 24 years old, 30 years old, 33 years old, and you're making 3K a month in your nice job. Let's even say you're nicer than that, because this is the thing. I know a lot of people that are really nice, like really nice. Maybe because I used to host a networking event. I know a lot of these young bucks, okay? They're on like 5, 6K a month. These guys are bankrolling. Sometimes I look at them salaries, I think if I had a salary like that when I was your age, guys, my life would be different even now. I would have set myself up in a way that even now you can't catch me. The live show probably would have been happening 5, 10 years ago. Listen, let me tell you something. If you're on 5K a month right now, if you're a 6-figure earner in your job, okay, if you're on 8.5K a month right now, I'm even talking about pre-tax, forget after tax, pre-tax. Let's say you're on that kind of income right now. When you hit 75, you're not going to be able to make that income. And you're going to tell me, I know what you're going to tell me. This is the funniest thing. I can hear it. I can hear it coming through this headphone right here. I can hear it. Should I tell you what you're going to tell me? You're going to tell me, but Samuel, I work for KPMG, and KPMG actually contribute to my pension, and so do I. Shh. That's what I got to say to that. You need to be quiet. You need to realize that that is the biggest myth that you've ever thought in your life. Why? Because KPMG are just a hybrid version of the government. Okay, that just woke somebody up. I know somebody just heard that and said to themselves, oh my gosh, I get it now. Listen, this is what you don't realize. For those of you who work for the NHS, if you work for a school, listen, all you need to do is go and find a teacher who's retired. Go and find a doctor who's retired. Go and find someone who's retired, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember one of the last schools, I think it was the last school I worked in full time. There was a lady, okay? She retired, and a few months later came right back to work. Oh my gosh, I'm telling guys, I've seen some things. Can I tell you that I've seen some things? Let me tell you something. The emojis Chantel put in the chat a moment ago were exactly a replication of how I felt when that lady came back to work within the same academic year that I saw her retire. I was heartbroken. I was devastated. I thought to myself, this lady in her late 60s has worked for over 30, maybe even 40 years as a teacher, investing in the life of the next generation, children, equipping them, young people, advancing them, allowing them to get a great start in their life. And she gets to a space where she realizes her health is stopping her. She does not have optimal health to continue her work and her craft. She decided to retire. She even was given a package. I want to say that one more time. She even was given a package by the school. The school gave her some financial allowances. They gave her a package. A few months later, she was back in the classroom teaching again. She didn't come back full time, but she came back. Why do I tell you this story? Because I want you to understand how real this is. And this is what I want you to write down. This is why I asked for these 5 readies, guys, because I wanted to be this real with you. Write it down. Do not conspire against your own success. Do not be complicit with the government to rob you of a successful retirement. I want you to think about that. Now, the title of the show, how many properties do you need? We decided to focus on and to park around the area of retirement. Why? Because retirement just makes sense to park around. There's a lot of people who don't want to think about retirement. Look, let me tell you something. The way some people act about their retirement is the same way some people act about the whole God and the devil and religion thing. Now listen, I'm not a very religious person, okay? Very much into my Bible, but not a religious person. I want you to understand this. If you don't ever ask yourself the question, what's going to happen to me when I die? Okay, you're probably not the kind of person who asks the question, what's going to happen to me when I retire? I'm just being honest with you. And tell me in the chat if I'm right or wrong. Tell me in the chat if I've got a point, if you can see the point that I'm making. Listen, if you're not thinking about the next 15, 20, 10, 5, 8, 4, 24, 34 years from now, you're probably not thinking about what happens after the now. And I get that. And I'm not saying, you're smarter if you're thinking about afterlife. No, I'm not saying that. This ain't about being religious or anything like that. This is just about common sense, guys. It's about common sense. Sometimes we've just got to think ahead. Sometimes we've just got to think ahead. And that's why we're doing today's episode, asking the question, how many properties do you need? Now, I'm going to start breaking this down because some people think this. Some people believe you need 10. I know so many people who believe that. Okay? I know so many people. Yogesh just threw in a comment in the chat. Interesting comment. Yogesh says, why did they return to work? Financial reason or some other reason? Why do you think they returned to work, Yogesh? Yogesh, you've got a job. You tell me, why would you return to work after retiring? Tell me that. Give me 2, 3 reasons. Give me 2 reasons. Let me put it that way. Give me 2. Because I know that by the time you give me 2, you'd already give me the reason that it has to be. There's no other reason. There's only one reason. Everybody knows the answer to that question. Everybody knows. I don't even need to answer the question. Someone else in the chat, tell me. Tell me someone else in the chat. Yogesh, listen, I said give me 2 reasons. You said bored and sense of purpose. They're both basically the same reason. And the reason why that's not really a good reason is, think about it. You don't have to go back to work to get a sense of purpose. Most people don't get a sense of purpose from their work. They may get a sense of purpose from the outcomes of their work, but it's not the work itself. So for example, if you're in the teaching field, okay, you don't get a sense of purpose because of the fact you go to work at 8 a.m. and you finish work at 8 p.m. and you're marking books. You don't get sense of purpose from that. If anything, you get the sense of purpose from seeing the children develop. You can develop children in so many different ways. You don't have to be a teacher. And if you are naturally a teacher, you can find ways to develop your purpose. It was not purpose. It was not a sense of purpose. That is the reason she came back to work. It was not because she was bored. Okay? It was not because she was bored. Yep, Yogesh, you said it. You got there, Yogesh. You got there. And I'm sure everybody else knew it. I'm sure everybody knew it. Because there's only going to be one reason. Let me tell you something. You're looking for a sense of purpose. Go create one. Why would you go back to the same old job you just left after retiring? Think about it like this. They just gave you a severance package. They're not going to give you a severance package, a farewell. They're not going to bid you farewell and you're going to go back there unless it's for the money. And it was for the money. That's why she went back. And this is the same reason most people think you need this many properties. You need 10. Why do you think so many people think you need 10 properties? I'm going to tell you why. Because for most people, each property is probably only generating them £300. Oh, you can't even see that on camera. There you go. Let me get you guys closer. Let me get you guys on an angle that can work. This is what most people believe. Most people believe £300 each property. Because that's what single let investors are doing. £300, £227. Okay? £300 per property. Let me tell you something. If you're getting £300 per property, yeah, you probably do need 10 properties in order to retire. You probably do. You probably do. But the reality is, you shouldn't be getting £300 per property. You shouldn't. What I want you guys to understand, being tuned into this show, the show where you get creative property investing on demand, that should not be your benchmark. £300 per property should not be your benchmark. And as a direct byproduct of that not being your benchmark, you should not need 10 properties. Okay? Maria said something very powerful earlier. She said it depends on what your passive income goals are, basically. It depends on what you're trying to achieve, basically. But what I want you to understand is, look, first and foremost, you shouldn't be working on £300 per property. You should be working on a specific figure that you're trying to work towards in order to ensure that you can retire appropriately. Okay? You see, this should not be your story. I need 10 properties. I need to make £300 a month. I need to make sure that each of these properties are cash flowing at least £300 a month, because if that's happening, then I can retire. Listen, that shouldn't be your story, guys. If that's your story, I apologize. Stay with us. Stay with us as much as you can. If that's your story, please hit subscribe, press the bell. Okay, please. I want to change that for you. That shouldn't be your story, guys. It seriously shouldn't be your story. There's more to life than that. There's more to life. Like, let me tell you something. How are you going to be 75 and even manage 10 properties like that? I'm actually genuinely interested in knowing. Like, I'm not saying there's something wrong with having 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 properties right now. Have as many properties as you want. Okay, live the life you want. That's fine. But when we're talking about retirement, for example, the reality is, how are you going to manage that? You know, there's people who tune into this show. They've got children. Okay, they're kind of like the people I'm really talking to. If you got children, then yes, maybe your children can support, facilitate. But obviously, you know, the Bible says a workman's worthy of his wages. So really, if the child is getting involved in your property business, the child really should be generating some kind of revenue from that as well. And if your portfolio is big enough, then there should be enough to go around, and that should all be fine. But there's a way that you make a change where you're not just dependent on the fact that, oh, you've got 10 properties. There's a way you're going to have to look at things where you put yourself in a position where it's like, listen, I don't really even have 10 properties, but I've got so much cash flow coming in that I'm good. And this is what people don't focus on. This is the reason I talk about this all the time, because people just don't focus on it, and I don't know why. This needs to be something that people start to realize how important it is in order for them to focus on it. Okay? So let's check this out. Chantel said we should do it together, so let's do it together. I've seen some numbers come through. I assume those numbers are right because those numbers were exactly spot on. But let's do this together. Weekly state pension amount. Let's see. 2020, 2021. There you go. It looks like we're going to get the exact same number again. Guys, look at that. How much state pension will a person get? I would never say when I read that. That I do not want to be part of that group. How much state pension will a person get? The full rate. Okay, even just look at that. Just look. Isn't that just heart wrenching? Look at the full rate of the new. This is new. This ain't even old. This is what I was talking about earlier, guys. The full rate of the new state pension will be £179.60 per week in 2020, 2021. But what you will get could be more or less depending on your national insurance record, depending on whether you gave more or not. Now, let me tell you something. If the baseline figure's that low, do you think the highest figure's going to be much higher? Do you think there's going to be much tolerance, much leeway? You tell me, guys. I don't know. I'm interested in your opinion. Okay, I'm seriously interested in your opinion. Chantel says, not my story. Amen. Amen to that. Amen to that. That's not your story. By the grace of God, that will not be your story. That's not my story. I'm not preaching that story for anybody. That's what I'm saying. Listen, this is round of applause for Chantel. That's not my story, trust me. £179.60 per week. New UK state pension. Guys, let me ask one question, simple question. Is that enough? Just give me a yes in the chat or a no in the chat. That's all I need, guys. Just a yes or a no. If you haven't hit subscribe, you know what to do. If you haven't hit like, you know what to do. If you haven't pressed that bell, guys, help the bell out. Okay? Let me know. Is that enough? I just want to see some yeses or nos in the chat. Is that enough? And if the answer is yes, because you've got a parent who's on the state pension right now and they're okay, just write yes. I don't know. Just tell me, is that enough? I don't know if that's enough. I don't believe it's enough. My answer is no. Let me put my answer in the chat. I want you guys to know I'm participating too. Is that enough? £179.60 a week to retire. Is that enough? Is that enough? Looks like my answer is the only answer in the chat. Is that enough? Genuinely intrigued. Maria says no. I think it's ridiculous. If I'm going to be totally honest, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, some people are going to be watching this and saying, oh, but Samuel, you're not a politician. You don't know how hard it is. Where they're going to get the money from. Listen, I have not said, and I do not purport that the government should do better. I haven't said that the government should do better. I haven't said the government should give us more money. I don't know if I actually believe the government should give us more money. Why? Because I think we need to take a lot more things into our own hands. And I think the year 2020 really showed us that. That's just me being honest. Okay? Yogesh, wow. Wow. I was going to say something really quick. Let me not say that. Yogesh says it depends. Yogesh, you can move. You can become a monk. Let me put your comment on the screen so people know what you're saying. You can move. You can become a monk. You can live a simple life. Minimalist. #minimalist. It's not enough, Yogesh. My opinion. It's not enough. Okay? And it doesn't depend. It's not enough. Okay? In my opinion, that is not enough money. Because 99% of those people who are going to get paid that money had more money prior to being a pensioner. That's part of the problem. So as many of us know, who know basic economics, they will already be living a standard of life beyond that amount of money. So that amount of money is not going to help them. That amount of money, if anything, is just going to flag problems to them, if that makes sense. That's my thoughts. They're my thoughts. I don't know how it's going to be enough. I don't know how it depends. You see, as you said, it depends. There was something that actually came to my mind, Yogesh, so I'll share this with you guys. It was, it depends on if they could migrate to a country like Thailand, like the Philippines, somewhere where that amount of money can go so much further. Yes, then maybe. But under the normal circumstances, living in the UK, listen, guys, I think I've told this story before. I haven't told it recently, so those of you who are tuned in, you've probably never heard this story. But listen, I remember the first teaching job I had, okay? The first teaching job that I had was one of the biggest ways that I learned I needed to get out of that industry. Let me share what happened with you. I think I must have been 25 years old, 26 years old, around that age. I had just got married. I'm working in a school in Tower Hamlets. Okay? # those of my London crew. I'm working in a school in Tower Hamlets. Tower Hamlets, for those of you who don't know, is the borough where we have Canary Wharf. Okay? So it's seen as one of the most prestigious boroughs in the whole of London. Okay? But people who live in London know Tower Hamlets is not anything prestigious. It's just the fact that it has Canary Wharf because it had the docks. Okay? So I'm working this job in Tower Hamlets. Mrs. ICanWin might start laughing now because she knows exactly what I'm going to be talking about. But I'm working this job in Tower Hamlets in this school. Okay? School's an okay school. But what I found out when I first got the job is a lot of the children in the school were deprived. A lot of Bengali children, okay? That's just because of the area it's in. In that part of Tower Hamlets, there is a high population of Bangladeshi, black, what the world calls ethnic minorities in that area. There's a high population of those kind of people. The school had an 89% Bengali intake. Okay, so this gives you an idea of how many people in the school were of a specific, origin. Let me use that term. So I'm working in this school, and in the first couple of weeks, I realized, hold on a minute, wow, this is a deprived area, but this is supposed to be Tower Hamlets. This is the home of Canary Wharf. This is One Canada Square. We got the square mile. We got the financial, let me say it like this so you understand what I'm talking about. We got the financial district of the UK, the financial district of England, the financial district of London is the hub, the financial eco hub is found in Canary Wharf at that time. Okay. Obviously now the financial eco hub is found in people's houses because of all the working from home. But anyway, nonetheless. So I'm in this predicament where I'm working in this school. Very quickly after the first couple of weeks, I realized like this area is poverty deprived. Okay. And then I get my first, second, third, maybe fourth. Maybe I was about 4 or 5 months in. I get a few paychecks. Okay. And at that time, I think my starting salary for a teacher, a maths teacher, I think at the time was around 27k. And I think because I had experience from working in a supplementary school that I did for about 3 years before I actually trained to be a teacher, I think I was on like 29k. So my first year, I was getting paid more than most first year teachers. So I'm getting paid £29,000. I can't remember how much was coming in each month. Maybe 2003, 2004. After tax, it probably looked more like 1.6, 1.7. Anyway, point is this. Salary comes in month 1. Salary comes in month 2. Salary comes in month 3. You got to bear in mind, this is my first teaching job. So this is the place where I'm in my world, like trying to work out, like, is this going to be the career for me? Like, am I going to be able to do what I need to do? Am I going to be able to move forward in my life? Am I going to be able to be somebody, have some things? Like, that's where I was in my life at that stage. I just got married, you know. Me and my wife were talking about having children. We were talking about the whole world in front of us. We were talking about what's going to happen to us. And this is the first full-time employment I've got as a graduate. It was my second graduate job, but the first in the career that I had trained to go into. It was first teaching job. And I was like, look, is this going to work for me? Like, is this going to be real? Is this going to turn out the way I need things to turn out? I got this salary now. I'm getting paid 29. You know, most of you guys getting paid 27. So I'm already feeling like, maybe I got something going on for me. And then it happens. Like, I get a paycheck one month. And when this paycheck comes in, oh my gosh, guys, I just need to share this with you. It was about the 4th or 5th paycheck from when I was working in the company or working in the school, the organization, the company, whatever it is. And it dawned on me. Let me share with you what dawned on me so you guys get it the way I get it or the way I got it. It dawned on me that after tax, the 1,006, 1,005, whatever they were paying me, it wasn't enough to rent a place for me to live near the school I worked in. That was one of the biggest light bulb moments I can say I had when I was working a career job. It was the fact that many times people go and work in companies. We work for organizations where what they pay you isn't even enough for you to comfortably live in the same area where you work. And I think part of what got me that month, so by the time the paycheck came through, I was like, wow, like the reason that I think it really got me, I'm just going to be very transparent, is because that specific month, I was talking to one of the assistant heads. And that was one of my goals when I was in school. I was like, yeah, man, I want to be an assistant head in charge of teaching and learning so I can infiltrate what people are learning, what kind of teaching is going on. Obviously, that's why I became a teacher trainer, because I was so passionate about the way things are being taught and how they had to be taught right so children could develop and sprout and become who they're supposed to be for the rest of their life, not just for GCSEs. Okay? So I'm sitting in this predicament where I'm speaking to an assistant head one day, and this assistant head says to me, we were talking, and he's like, yeah, he lives in Northampton. I'm like, okay, like in the weekends, like in the holidays? Like, what do you mean you live in Northampton? He said, no, I commute from Northampton every day to work. I'm like, are you sure? Like, do you know what you just said? You commute every single day from Northampton to work in Tower Hamlets in London? You commute? Yeah. It's a 4-hour journey or something, like 3-hour, 2-hour, whatever. It's a journey. Guys, that was the seed that when I got my paycheck that month, I realized this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. Listen, I'm not blaming the school. I want you to understand, I don't place blame on the school. The same way I don't place blame on the government. They're only doing what they're doing. Whether it's good or bad, whether it's right or wrong, whether they could do better, I don't get into that. I don't take those classes. But I just want you to understand, like I said earlier, with the pen and paper, write it down. I will not conspire with the government to steal and rob and destroy my own retirement. I'm not going to do that. I'm not gonna become complicit to failure in my life. Never. I am going to work for the success that I know I am due. And if I fail in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to take it on the chin as learning and development and push forward further. And the thing is, most people haven't got that mentality. That's the problem. And the reason why most people don't have that mentality is very, very simple. It's not difficult. I'm going to share with you why most people don't have that mentality. Most people don't have that mentality because they went to schools which taught them to not have that mentality. The same schools where they're teaching this stuff is the same schools where the teachers are getting treated in the same way. Where they're trusted in but the teacher's pension is actually better than the normal pension. Oh my gosh. You know, I used to hear that. I used to have teachers tell me that when I was in school. Oh, you know, the teacher's pension is actually better than okay, have you retired yet? Do you know that? Do you know that for sure? Like, that's the question you should ask when people say stuff like, how do you know that? Was your mom and dad a teacher? Did they retire on that pension? Was it okay for them? Was it, how they do it? Are they eating Rivita and biscuits or are they getting meat? I'm just interested. I'm genuinely interested. And you know what will happen? If you ask most people, this is what they'll do. They start coughing because they don't know what to say, guys. They don't know what to say because they don't have the experience personally. They don't know personally whether it's going to be okay. Now, this is why we have to show, because we want you to be able to make it okay. We want you to be in a space where you say to yourself, no, I'm not going to be that person who's going to work out whether it's going to be okay for me. It's going to be blessed for me because I'm putting in the work now. If you are 30 years old, 35 years old, you're on a 5K salary right now and you got it coming in, just remember your knees might not be able to meet your needs when you're 75. So what are you going to do right now with your knees so that when you're 75, you have all your needs met? You got to do some work, guys. You got to do some work. And I purport to you that property investing is the work. Now, Mrs. ICanWin threw an answer in earlier on, and I like that answer a lot. So I'm going to put that answer on the screen, and I want to use that answer to kind of help you answer the question, all right? Because I think this answer is a very, very helpful answer. I think it's so helpful, they actually put it into a game, and that game is the game of Monopoly, as many of you know. But not only is that answer so helpful that they put it into the game of Monopoly, but that answer is so helpful, they actually knew that you're going to need this in life, which is why it's kind of the core to actually developing and winning in a Monopoly game. I don't think you need 10 houses generating £300 a month in order to retire. Okay? That's me personally. I think if you know what you're doing, you should be able to generate or create a portfolio, okay? Which for many people will be able to meet, and for some people actually exceed, their current income level by simply creating a property portfolio where you are generating in the region of, okay, it doesn't have to be exactly, but in the region of £1,000 per month per property. Okay, somebody write that down, especially those ones who are younger, less than 30. Write that down for me. I need to create assets, property, a portfolio that's generating for me £1,000 per month per property, roughly. Okay, because I want you guys to get this. Okay, Chantel says, re-educate, be a lifelong learner. I hear you. That's what we do over here. That's why we're trying to help people change their life. Okay, so Mrs. ICanWin said 4 houses and a hotel. And it's the game of Monopoly. Valerie won one of these last week, which we're going to still be sending out to her. I made a mistake. I thought the one that I had in my office was brand new, but it wasn't brand new. So I had to go out and actually buy her a brand new one, because my one had been opened and had been played, because I like playing games like Monopoly when I get time, should I add. But yes, anyway. So congratulations to Valerie who won that last week. Now, what I want you guys to understand is in the game of Monopoly, the concept, the principle is 4 greenhouses, okay, and 1 red hotel. And there's a reason why, okay? There's a reason why. Now, in different economies, things work differently, but just to make it simple, if you're able to create a portfolio like this. Okay, and let me say this to you, so you guys, because I don't want you guys to be thinking, oh no, and I still need 10. I need 10 grand a month. I still need 10. Listen to this. Why do you think the mortgage lenders a year and a half ago basically stated that if you have 4 or more properties, why did they use 4 as the number? Why did they use 4 as the number, which cuts you off from being a kind of investor to being what they call a portfolio landlord, to what they call being a landlord, a portfolio investor? Why? Why did they use 4? I'll let you think about that. Anyway, if you could produce 4 properties, generating £1,000 a month each, that will give you £4,000 per month. £4,000 per month equates to, and then all the maths for you guys, so you don't have to do it yourself. That's okay. That's what a good teacher does, helps you on your journey. That equates to £48,000 per year, per annum. Okay. Now the reason that's good is because you're very close to 50k roughly. And if you add on your state pension, you'd probably be on 50k, hopefully. 170, yeah, you would be. Okay. Because if you're getting like 100 and something pounds a week, that would be, let's call it roughly 200. It's not 200. Let's call it 150 because it's probably going to be less by the time we actually retire. So 150, especially with what happened in 2020, 150 times 4, we're talking £600. £600 over a year, six and a half K. Okay, £7,200. All right. So you add £7,200 to this, and you now have over 50k per annum. Okay. Now, why is this important and why is this relevant? Well, this is relevant because if you're someone who's 30, if you're someone who's 32, 34, if you're 40s, early 50s, okay, and you can do this now, I'm going to say that, okay. I show people how to do this now, okay. But if you're going to do this now, this is why this gets interesting. Because when you retire, what's the retirement age, guys? I don't know. Does anyone know what's the age for retirement? I know they've just recently increased it. They love increasing the retirement age. You know, you see, this is what I mean when I say don't be complicit with the government to rob away your future. The thing that gets me the most, I'm going to say this because I want you to really see this. The thing that gets me the most is not when they change the retirement age. It's the people that suffer when they change the retirement age. What if you're 61 and next month you're about to be 62, and then just before you turn 62, they change the retirement age to 66? Do you see how that messes up that person's whole life? Let me know in the chat. Because some people don't think about these things. Listen, let me tell you something, guys. I think about these things for people all the time. I always think to myself, like, even sometimes I have to, because my mum has been in that situation. And it's crazy. Like, sometimes it's crazy. You just got to think to yourself, well, hold on a minute. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you're going to change the retirement age and affect hundreds of thousands of people's lives instantly. There's people who do actually plan ahead, who were planning to retire at that time. And you've just out of nowhere now, what we're going to do, we're going to change it. We're going to add 2 years to it. Let them keep working for a couple more years. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, do not allow the government to say to you and your future,
access denied.
But instead, force the government by developing a strand of success for yourself so that you can get the
access granted.
Guys, we need to change things. We need to change the narrative. I'm telling you, we just need to change the narrative. It's not as hard as people make it seem. We just need to change the narrative. Are you getting value, guys? If you guys are getting value, let me see the word value in the chat, please. If you guys are getting value, let me see the word value in the chat, please. I want to know if this is valuable for you. Let me know if you guys are taking something from tonight's show. Let me know in the chat if you guys are getting value. And whilst you guys try to work that out, let me encourage you to go and get this resource right here. The Sourcing Blueprint, absolutely free. Go to the link, sourcingblueprint.com. This resource is going to help you learn how to find great property deals. Go get this resource. It's there for you. All right. So that's that. Again, if you missed the link, all the links in the description. Now, we're going to push forward a little bit more, because you guys ain't even told me if you're getting value yet. Yogesh, what a comment. Guys, come on. If you haven't hit a like on this video and Yogesh is dropping comments like that, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you don't know how to use YouTube. Listen, let me teach you how to use YouTube. Just below here is going to be some options for you. Hit the like button. And if you don't like this content and you're a hater, that's okay. You can press the unlike, the dislike, the thumbs down, but just press it twice. Show how angry you are by pressing it twice. All right, cool. Now that's all.
Awesome.
Now let's move forward. So Yogesh says in the chat, value. Wish I learned this when I was 14. Yogesh, I wish I learned this when I was 14. Thank you so much. I wish I learned this when I was 14. If I learned this when I was 14, like Jim Rohn says, it would have set me every which way but loose. Yogesh, thank you for your comment. All right. Chantel's already given us the numbers. She says 66 for men, 67 for women. Is it still different? I thought that the men's one was actually a higher age. But again, let's do what we do. Let's do it together. And I'm sure that you're right anyway, Chantel, because you were able to get us the last figures accurately. So I'm sure that you're right. But let's see. Let's see what it says. This is what I need to open. Cool. So let's check this out. What's the state retirement age in the UK? And there you go. You can claim state pension when you reach state pension age. As of April 2021, this is 66 for men and women. Yeah, I thought they made it the same, because there's all this whole political correctness around whether people can do this or do that. Okay. Maria chimes in with a powerful comment here. She says it's 66 for all and rising to 67. Okay. But again, what happens? What happens if you're 65 and a half when they move it to 67? It means you got to work for another 18 months. You got to work for another 18 months. And this is, guys, can you understand why I think this is heartless? Do you understand what I'm actually saying on today's show? Like, or is it just me? Like, am I just in a zone on my own, like trying to be sympathetic and empathetic to people who don't need my sympathy and empathy? Like, guys, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, let me just leave that there, because I don't want to start ranting, guys. You guys want the value, so I just give you the value. Chantel says value. I love this. Yogesh says value. Chantel says the chats are delayed. All is well, all is well, all is well, even if the chat is delayed. I think YouTube like to delay the chat a little bit, so people like Mr. C4, they can make sure are not able to chat, because they can restrict their comments. So again, you know, we had an interesting year in 2020. We learned a lot about platforms like YouTube. So it's all good. We still do what we got to do. So guys, this is the reality. Okay. Most people believe they need 10 properties. You don't need 10 properties. Most people will say, well, you have to have 10 properties, because if all of the properties I've got are generating £300 a month, then I need 10 of them to have around £3,000 a month, which gives me 36k a year. I need 10. You do not need 10. What you need is transformation. You need to change and get a strategy that works for you. The moment you get a strategy that works for you, you can then start cash flowing at a higher level. If you cash flow at a higher level, you're now going to be in a completely different space. And what do I mean by a completely different space? Well, I mean, you're going to be able to control property or own property, which potentially could generate you exactly what I'm talking about, in the region of £1,000 a month. And then you having 4 of those properties replaces you having to put in the effort, the time, the energy to have 10 properties generating you £300. And hopefully everyone in the chat understands why that is of value to you. Everyone in the chat hopefully understands, you know what, that's a better route for me. It's better for me to have 4 properties generating £1,000 a month than for me to have 10 properties generating £400 per month. But Mrs. ICanWin gave a little bit of extra value. She said 4 houses and a hotel. So what you can do is you can leverage those 4 houses in order to tap into the residence that you are going to have, which might be your hotel, or to level up to something else as well, which is something we teach on our advanced programs. So we're not going to touch on that right now. Anyway, one other thing I want to share with you about this, I went into this, but I then stopped, I think, because Yogesh said a very powerful comment. But one other thing I wanted to add to this is this. If you are able to own or control properties right now, generating £1,000 per month on average each, what happens when the mortgage is paid off? The income increases, and most of you know that. So this could be an additional 5, 6, 3, 400 pounds every single month that's added to your income. The very moment that the mortgage is actually paid off and the house becomes unencumbered. Unencumbered just means, for those of you taking notes, just means the house has no more mortgage. So when the house has no more mortgage and you add on an additional £500 to these 4 properties, that's an additional £2,000 every single month, taking you from £4,000 to £6,000 every single month, taking you from £48,000 to £72,000 a year. And that's when you can say,
Yes.
and you still only have 4 properties. And you still only have 4 properties. What I want you guys to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I want you to make a decision about how many properties do you actually need, and stop living in the world where people tell you, you gotta have 5, you gotta have 10, you gotta have 20, because otherwise it don't make sense. And if you still don't understand how it makes sense, what I want you to do is go and register for our upcoming masterclass on the link on the screen, which should also be in the chat. The team maybe will put in the chat as well. impactproperties.co.uk/cashflow. We're going to be doing another masterclass. We did a masterclass last Thursday. Those of you who are on the live right now, if you were on the masterclass, did you get value? Let me see the word value in the chat. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. ICanWin. Chantel, please take note of what Mrs. ICanWin just threw in the chat. That's going to really, really help you. But guys, those of you who are on the masterclass, all I would like you to let me know is if you got value on last Thursday's masterclass, because we're going to be running another masterclass on Thursday coming for all of those people who maybe were not able to attend. So what I want you to do is make sure you register for the masterclass by going to that link, impactproperties.co.uk/cashflow. And the moment you register for that masterclass, we're going to be showing you in that masterclass exactly how you can level up your cash flow. And that's the key. That's the name of the game. That's what changes everything. That's what stops you eating Rivita and cheese in your retirement, because you have an additional, a different, a better, a stronger flow of cash coming in from property investments. Now, with all of that being said, what I want to do is encourage you to go and watch this video right here, which explains why you can't sell your property. Now, if you're a sharp investor like I am, the moment you understand why people can't sell their property, you can understand as an entrepreneur how you can solve this problem for them and start to buy more properties way below the price they're actually on offer for. And all I would like you to remember at the end of this show is that small keys open big doors. And I will see you on the next show. Happy investing.